we need to drive our standards. We need to upskill our workforce. We really do. We really absolutely have to look at every individual in this workforce and say a 24-hour course that was done online does not make you a professional in this industry. It absolutely doesn't. Great, you've done it, and now start those stepping stones to be a professional.
Welcome to this week's Escape Your Limits podcast for the final interview in the series from the 2023 Escape Fitness Growth Summit, where we were joined by the President of EuropeActive, CEO of Myzone EMEA, and Counsel for the World Active Forum, who presented what he thinks is the enormous once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the fitness industry.
If we move our mindset from we gotta sell kit to why we've got to sell kit, then it becomes a no-brainer. How do we become a recognized health sector? We have also the pill for mental health. Mental health has never been more relevant. What have we got as an industry which these big pharmaceutical players haven't got? We have the community. Our industry is interested in people of determination, and that isn't just disabled people, that's all people who want to make a difference to their lives and get fit and healthy and make a difference.
So allow me to introduce Mr. Dave Stalker to this week's Escape Your Limits podcast.
I've been part of driving this industry forward over a period of time, well, too long. As Matt said, I started as a personal trainer in the 80s, and I've seen enormous changes. But we then go along and we make these changes and everything happens, and you guys go out there and you try and get clubs to sell kit, to get your kit in, and where are they going and what's happening. And I think one of the disjointed things that we have is people don't totally understand where we need to be driving to. It doesn't matter which country you are. It doesn't matter whether there's a few people here who are from Africa where the health and fitness is just developing, or whether you're from the Middle East where there's lots of money but diabetes, type 2 diabetes is a real problem, whether you're from India or whether you're from Europe, or no matter where it is, we all have the same challenges. And so the more you understand those challenges as people who go out there and sell this fantastic kit, the more opportunity you have to say to these people, this is what you need to be looking at. Where is your thought process? And the reason we need to get this thought process going is because we need to make a change. We need to ultimately make a change. I was born and brought up in Kenya, and I know there's people here from Africa, and one thing that has recently come off my CV is I've just finished my stint, 12 years as chairman of a zoo in the west of the UK, and I fund quite a few, I contribute to quite a few wildlife foundations across Kenya. Currently, there lies my passion. I started my career taking people on safari, and therefore working in the fitness industry, seeing the obvious change. Yeah. But there lies my passion, my two passions. I work in one, health and fitness, and where is our industry going, and making a difference, and conservation. And I actually think conservation and everything that comes out of that is crucially important to where our industry is going. We have got to stop this mindset of there's a natural world and then there's us. Surprise, surprise, we're part of the natural world. And everything that happens in the natural world, we are absolutely part of it, and we need to make a difference. And everything we do in the health and fitness industry needs to drive to that. The fitter people are, the less they're driving in cars, the less we're polluting the atmosphere, the better food they're eating, the better farming. Let's really think about this. And I think if we move our mindset from we gotta sell kit to why we've got to sell kit, then it becomes a no-brainer. It doesn't make it easier, but it takes our inner passion for what we do, and it makes an absolute difference to the globe. So we had this blip when COVID happened, and we came back from that, and you'll all have heard it because you all went to clubs. You all went to clubs, and they said things have been really tough. How's it going? well, trading's improving, it's coming back, we need to get strength back in the balance sheet, we can't buy kit right now because of the challenges we've got, staffing problems and so on. And so we're going through this. And you know, it really annoys me a lot, because as much as we hate COVID and we hate what happened for it, it's the biggest opportunity that's ever been given to this industry. Without a doubt, it has given us that mantle to step from our fitness roots to true health delivery partners. This is our big opportunity. We were absolutely stuck on the front page. We were stuck on the front page and told, if you're exercising and if you're fit and healthier, this is going to be a better journey in the most case to other people, and the importance of health and fitness. So when I speak to operators and they say, I'm trying to get my balance sheet back to where it was pre-COVID, I say, gosh, your ambition is so dull. Your ambition is so dull because your aim should be to knock that balance sheet out of the park, because you've had a new 80% opportunity of the population taking part and being interested in what you do. This is enormous. This opportunity is enormous. So I guess the first message I would say to here, we need to move from that mindset of fitness. Of course, we can't desert fitness. It is what we do. But we need to understand that we need to be health delivery partners. Health delivery partners is where we need to go. Now, it's not enough just to say it. I'm a health delivery partner. Everything that was said earlier about the importance of exercise and sleep and dealing with stress, and we know now we have people, particularly mental health and all these things becoming an opportunity. But what is the move to health? Where is the change? How do we become a recognized health sector? It is crucial that in your mindsets, you start moving to that. It isn't going to be easy, because guess what? By going into that sector, we have picked the biggest competitor in the world, the pharmaceutical sector. Yeah, we have stood up and said, we've got what you can't patent, what you can't put in a tablet, we have got it. And that's the ability to help people move, get going and get exercising and make a difference to their lifestyle. In order to do that, I'm president of EuropeActive, as was mentioned. I went to a lobbying session at the European Parliament. It's really, how many people in the room are from Europe, from mainland Europe? Yeah, great. Okay, well, it's really odd, because I was recently re-elected as the president of EuropeActive, and I know I'm Kenyan by birth, but I think you'd all say I'm British, and following Brexit, I found it an odd decision that they re-nominated me to sit as their representative. Now, I'm absolutely European, but I have to spend a lot of time in the European Union and in Brussels, and you can all guess how popular I am there. Yeah, I'm a real treat. They just love me. But we go along and we say our things. Last time I was there, I went into a room, and what is the importance of the conversation was, how are we going to affect the health of the European Union people, its citizens, as they say, through the delivery of fitness solutions. And I was invited along with, I'm going to guess, about 60 other people to attend this, and we were all speakered up, and the various translators were there, and we were all there. I was the only one from our sector. 49 other people, all from the pharmaceutical sector. All from the pharmaceutical sector. So let's understand, we are picking a real big competitor, but the opportunity is so enormous. So we need to have the mindset. And when you're speaking to your clients and when you're saying, buy your functional kit when this happens, what you're talking about is you buy this kit and it results in a change of the health and fitness of those people, which results in health changes, which dramatically affects your budget. In terms of those people from the UK, it goes as far as saving our National Health Service from bankruptcy. That is it. So anyone here, whether in any country where your government is any way responsible for paying for your health care, or any insurance company, the only way that is going to happen. The prices aren't going to go up, or if you're in the UK where it's free of charge, is if they embrace the fitness sector. Otherwise, it can't happen. It absolutely can't happen. So we must go there, and we must also understand that we have also the pill for mental health. Mental health has never been more relevant in everything we read. We know that the mental stress, mental fragility is just enormous. We've all witnessed it. We know exercise. Exercise much more. Just the other day on Panorama, they had a program on antidepressants. Panorama, for people who don't know it, is a news program in the UK, and they have something like 35 to 40% of the population of the UK are on antidepressants. The side effects are staggeringly bad, and none of them are as effective as exercise. None of them. Now, of course, I don't want people not to have antidepressants. If they don't have it, they're going to jump off a bridge. It's not where we want to go. We've got a health sector that are just handing them out like Maltesers or M&Ms, and we need to change that mentality and get them thinking, no. We must prescribe exercise. And in order for them to prescribe exercise, they have to believe our sector can deliver on that. And in order to believe it, we have to be professionals and believe we can deliver on it. And in this room is full of professionals, and you work with them all the time, and you go and see them all the time. And they should be proud of themselves, and they should be standing up and saying, we are professionals, and we are able to do this. And then we will start making inroads into this. Not just say we're health delivery partners, actually be health delivery partners. Down there is community. And the reason I put community in is because in order to be health delivery partners, we have to find, what have we got? What have we got as an industry which these big pharmaceutical players haven't got? We have the community. We are in our communities. We are deep within there in our health clubs. Our health clubs, our leisure centres, our public facilities, our exercises happening in the park, all these things are community delivery of health. So if we want to have that, let's get up, let's make a difference, and let's get going, we need to tell everybody out there that the focus has got to be within your area, within your geographical area, that you own that community. And that's about relationships with the medical sector in that community, relationships with the care homes, whatever it happens to be.
Introducing the next big thing in functional training, the Escape Barrow, a revolutionary training tool that combines a loaded farmer's carry with a sled push to develop hip, grip, and core strength. Developed in partnership with Pete Holman, inventor of the TRX Rip Trainer and Nautilus Glute Drive, the Escape Barrow can be rolled, pushed, dragged and carried. The Escape Barrow packs a punch with an impressive load capacity of 440 pounds, and with a two-stage galvanized paint covering process, it's also ideal for outdoor use. So head over to escapefitness.com/barrow. That's escapefitness.com/barrow to find out more. Enjoy the rest of this episode.
When I go into those care homes, and we've got loads of great health clubs, I don't see any of these health clubs going in there to these community, these centres and saying, let me deliver an exercise session for these people in this room. An exercise session can be people getting out of the bloody chair. Yeah, we need to own these communities, because if you're going, or your clients are going in there, and gosh, Escape just has 1 million products which can be taken in there and just used by fitness instructors, not to drive revenue, to drive the ownership of the area for the health club. Not everything has to be about what is my return on investment in this. What it should be, I go into that care home, and what I do is I go in there and I get 20 people, and they sit there and we have an aerobic session where they don't frankly get out of their chairs, but I get them to move a bit and they're happier, and we're dealing with their mental stress, and the people who run it like us, and the people who run it are relevant because they're taking down taking down funds from the local community in order to run their care centres, and you're relevant, and your club becomes relevant, and your clubs and your centres and the people who you supply are the core deliverers for that community. The pharmaceutical industry cannot do that. It cannot do it. It cannot own its community. So I really hope that you can see that to derive the health message, we need to understand our communities. We need to understand, own our communities. And owning our communities isn't us deciding what they should be doing. It's us listening to what that community needs and then seeing how we can provide for it and make a difference. So if you take those two things, one of the things that we've always had is we've had a challenge with standards. And when I talk about standards, I'm talking about the standards of our fitness instructors. Because if we want to be health delivery partners in the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry, pharmaceutical industry busy kicking us, medical industry wanting to embrace us, in most countries, health and fitness plays maybe a week, 2 weeks in a doctor's training. He understands health and fitness, but he doesn't necessarily have the belief and understanding that our professionals are people that he can competently refer them to and that they will deliver. So we need to drive our standards. We need to upskill our workforce. We really do. We really absolutely have to look at every individual in this workforce and say a 24-hour course that was done online does not make you a professional in this industry. It absolutely doesn't. Great, you've done it, and now start those stepping stones to be a professional. Because if I'm going to be a health delivery partner, I need a doctor to be referring people to it. Or if I'm going to go into the local centre and get that community people to put it, they want to know my professionals are able to deliver those standards. So we need to upskill the workforce in order to do that. And then I guess it all ties down to, and it looks like I've just taken a Myzone moment here by putting digital at the end. And I've only put that, and that's the last time in this bit where I'll mention Myzone. Digital is the key because we have so much data. It does not matter whether your government is in Nairobi or in Pretoria or any capital city across the globe, we will not be able to make an impact or have those departments of health or whatever they happen to be batting for us until we give them data. And we have so much data and we keep it all to ourselves. We need to be bringing this data together. The road, I would say in UK terms, the road to Westminster, which is where the Parliament is paved by data. Without it, you cannot crack government. It does not matter whether you're in the States or here or anywhere in the globe. We need this data because the pharmaceutical industry and everybody else who will push us back because our data is not enough. Yet we have so much. We have so much data. So trade associations should be pulling that together. And I know that EuropeActive is doing that, and UKactive is doing that, and now WorldActive is doing that. And so we end up with a circle of areas that we can make a difference. But sometimes I think that we overcomplicate this because if we say we're going to move to health and we're going to have these competitors and we're going to own our communities and we're going to improve our standards and we're going to gather all this data, then how do we know that this is going to result in our sudden status change throughout government, that we're suddenly going to be on the top of their agenda and they're going to be saying, we'll get rid of VAT or tax on memberships of health clubs, or we'll subsidize anybody on this campaign, on that campaign. Well, I don't know. I want to try and see where it happens, but we have to be realistic. About 8, years ago, I was chief executive of UKactive, and we took 2,000 people in the UK and we gave them free membership to health clubs, and we gave them free, they were all at the onset of high cholesterol. So they had high cholesterol, and they were going to be going on to statins. That was the thing. So we all know, because we're in this industry, that health and fitness is a better solution than going on to statins. So 2,000 people in this country were given free personal training. They were given free membership to gyms. They were given control on their diets, and they were monitored for a 4-month period over the summer of that year. All 2,000 began the campaign. All 2,000 finished the campaign. All started with a cholesterol level that was too high. Every one of them finished the campaign at the end with a good cholesterol level that was now good. They all looked better. A ton of weight had been lost and all the rest of it. And I thought, wow, this is just fantastic. I go shooting off to go to see the Prime Minister, going, hey, we've got the solution here. But before I could go and see the Prime Minister, I needed to have the exit questionnaire from 2,000 people saying what they thought. And you have to remember that these people's bodies were transformed in these periods. So 2,000 people were asked, and nearly every one of them replied. You're obviously not, but every single one that replied, and I can't remember the exact figure, but it was well over 1,500, felt they were cheated. They would rather have had a tablet. Yeah. So be realistic about what the challenge is that we have out there. You know, even though these people looked better, they would rather have had a tablet. Yeah.
Why did they feel cheated? You know?
They just said, we went to the doctor because we had high cholesterol and we just wanted to carry on living our crap lives, but sticking a tablet in and whoa, cholesterol's fine, suffering from a bit of depression, get home and my wife says I'm useless, but whoop, cholesterol stop. Yeah, it's all under control. So that was it. That was literally, they did not want the exercise program. Yet it would be cheaper for the National Health Service in the UK to pay for these people forever to have free membership and personal training than to pay for them to have the statins. Would be cheaper. So understand the challenges. And sometimes that gets me thinking a little bit laterally. And not so long ago, I was over at a conference in Dubai and went to Abu Dhabi, and there's a few of you who may well be from the Middle East, and I saw a sign on a door of a health club, and those who aren't from the area won't know, and it had the disabled sign, the sticker, and then underneath it said pod. And I thought, that's interesting, you know, there's a disabled sticker and they've got a pod for them. And so I inquired, I asked the guy I was with, a great guy in Abu Dhabi, I said, what does that stand for? And pod stands for people of determination. And I just thought, here I am. God, I never thought I would see that in the Middle East. I never thought I would be taken back by something which is so dramatic in that area. Now, that can be a prejudice as much as you like. I just did not believe I would see that. And when I was talking about this, I think sometimes that's what we should be saying. We should be saying, well, our industry is interested in people of determination. And that isn't just disabled people. That's all people who want to make a difference to their lives and get fit and healthy and make a difference. And if we stick that up, that is a newsworthy item, because we take down the sign that says disabled and we put up the sign that says people of determination, and we say embrace people of determination, and newspapers all over the world and TV channels all over the world pick it up, and we make a point. We make a point that we are the industry that cares and wants to drive determination and make the most of people. So we can do it two ways. We can statistically pull things together and we can have that battle, and we must do that, or we can change the way people think generally. This slide, which if you've got a slide like this, I know people in the back probably can't see it, which means I can probably make up what's on it. So we looked from Myzone at pre-COVID. So I mean, it's quite obvious here. This was pre-COVID, 60 60-odd% of people were exercising in health clubs. Yeah. COVID, yeah, very, very little. Those few health clubs that were being sneaky, that were supposed to be shut. And now we have the comeback. And we are right into February 23, and we are not yet back to where we were pre-COVID. What a smashing opportunity for our industry if our industry is going to embrace the community. If our industry is going to say, in my health club, I will sell you kit that you can work at home with when you're not here. I will set up circuit sessions on your phone that you can do. I will set up running clubs. I will embrace the fact that you're taking the dog out and making a difference that way. Because it's not back to pre-COVID, which tells you a whole load of people have changed what they think about exercise. Yeah, and remembering this is members of health clubs. Yeah, this isn't just the general population. This is members of health clubs. So on top of that, and we haven't got that data, if you tailor those who have taken up exercise, if you were to look at those who've taken up exercise and you were to play this in, I would guarantee that the white would be much lower and the red is right out of the roof. And so we, once again, go back to being health delivery partners. We have been given the bloody golden egg here. We can deliver it outside our sites. I used to say to these centres, I say, today you're a centre. And this is in the 90s. I used to say, today you're a centre, and I'll tell you when you're a club. And you're a club when not everything that happens in this facility is all you're about. When what happens outside your facilities, and I don't care if it's a curry club or a wine club or a cheese club or a running club or a dog walking club or a bloody anything club, it's bringing together communities and driving them. And wow, just get on the Escape brochure and just look at the opportunities we have to do things outside of the walls of a club. And any manager of a club who believes his product is good should understand that by doing things outside with people and embracing those people who aren't coming through the doors, you can embrace those people, make no money for it, and I guarantee when they get fit and healthy, they'll walk through your bloody doors. Yeah, but we need to get out there and absolutely do it. And the statistics are telling us, the facts are telling us they're not back yet. They're not back yet, but put that aside. What about all the others that we need to look at? So we looked at the top, well, I'm sure you've all seen this, I'm guessing, well, it's Murphy research, I thought it was going to be URSA, the top criteria to join a gym. As they currently stand, 2022 against 2019. And this, again, plays into all the words that we said before. You've got convenient location as the most important factor. Convenient location because now you've got people who are working in a hybrid way, they're working from home, they're doing those things, they want their gym to be close, they want it to fit into their environment, and they want to be local and part of the community. Also, being a convenient location, we are suddenly going back to that, we are part of the community. Equipment remains crucial, but I would hazard a guess, the equipment they want. What's the biggest thing that's changed? And Escape is at a forefront of this. I'm a member at David Lloyd's Royal Berkshire Club, which is where I started my career as a personal trainer. Bizarrely, it's really odd, 30 years going back to a club and using it when you start as a personal trainer. It's really, really odd when someone asks you for help with the tricep push down and you say, oh, life's moved on a bit. But they say, oh, don't you work here? I said, no, I don't bloody work here. It's a big club. But what I've really noticed is the equipment they want, when you go into these health clubs now, what's great is functional things have become so crucial and so important. And we all know that is going to result in more changes and more people getting fit and healthy and more people making a difference to their lifestyle. I would say, however, that when I walk into the Royal Berkshire Club and I'm greeted by, a track, people throwing, or, my initial vision is the functional area. If I'm a newcomer to health and fitness, wow, that's a terrifying sight. That's an absolutely terrifying sight. So we need to learn, how do we bring these people into the equipment that they want, not the equipment that the gym wants. The functional stuff is here to stay, and so it should be, and it should be the backbone of what we do because it makes the biggest difference. But I do think that clubs are laying out things and putting it too front and center because, surprise, surprise, fitness instructors are massively comfortable with it. But if we're going to drive these people who can't get out of a chair, they can't, telling them they've got to pull a tire is probably not the instant recognition. It all needs to get there. But here, low membership fee, whoosh, gone shooting up. It's become the crucial criteria people are looking to. Low membership fee. Why is that? I don't know why that's becoming so important. I think one of the reasons it's become important is because people have learned to do things outside of a facility. And now they want it to be part of what they do, not the hub of it. So it's become more, it's part of my lifestyle, and I'm keener to make sure that my money is, and of course things have been tight for people, and so people have become more knowledgeable about what they're expecting. One of the things we make a mistake here is we then say, well, what attracts people to look at a low membership facility site? Because the chances, if it's truly low membership, it's going to be understaffed. We think staff is crucial. We know that they are the backbone of everything we did. Well, I was in Washington, I'm going to say 5 years ago, and I sat with at a conference there, and I sat with two ladies, and there was a summer break, and between them, I think between them they had 5 children, all coming back from university. And they said, we said on the first day of the conference, I said, why don't you go back to those 5 people and say, to their 5 kids in the evening, and say, what, I'll pay for your membership at a health club anywhere in Washington, any health club, best health club, cheapest health club, whatever health club, for the whole of the summer break, as long as you lay down the criteria of how you will choose that health club. Yeah, and not surprisingly, kids are hardly going to go, well, I'd like you, Mummy, to pay the least possible money. They're not going to say that. But the number one criteria for the generation, I have no idea which generation, X, Z, Y, whatever they are, but they're a generation that's a lot younger than me. They all said the most important thing was, I want to join a health club where I don't have to communicate and speak to anybody. I want to be able to join online. I want to be able to go in there and use it without communicating to people, and I want to be able to get out and hopefully not speak to anybody. That terrifies me. That absolutely terrifies me. So in the light of everything which I say about driving our people forward and becoming more professional in the face of a younger generation, we have to question whether that's what they wanted. But the younger generation aren't our only customers. Because guess what? They're a real small part of the population. There's a really older generation. You're not going to believe this, but there's a generation older than me. And they really need health clubs. They absolutely do need them. And so we should take them as important. But there is a twist, looking for low membership fees. Anybody in the room think any other reasons why this has become so crucially different, low membership fees?
I think, from what I've seen, there were a lot of offerings on Facebook and Instagram classes, and a lot of people that during COVID left, obviously, their gyms, started to sign up for these $1, £1 packages, and it's very simple for people to do that and just talk themselves, YouTube videos and things like that.
Yeah, so there's just endless influx of offers.
So it drives.
Yeah, drives the price down. The average membership price. Yeah.
I think due to the COVID crisis, the financial pressure increased for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. It has increased enormously. I think that's probably the key factor. I do think there is an enormous effect coming from influencers and the desire to do things at home. And I created this body, and look at me, it's fantastic. And you can do it for $1. Though we know they can't.
A combination of both. That you had COVID, during COVID, people got used to exercising at home, became more educated, so embraced that more. But then from then got into a financial crisis that has made people question the bills they spend. At a time when they've learned more about their own health, fitness, more options available. And so a gym is an option, but not the only option. Therefore, there's not the same amount of budget when you've got multiple options.
And I agree, a gym is an option, but not the only option. But the gym should be part of every option.
I think also, like I spoke to David Minton about this, and specifically to the UK, which was a bit counter to what he's saying there, where he's saying one of the fastest growing sectors in England is the premium. And chatting to some of the people like Third Space, Rob Beale, who is part of that, and what's happening is the mid-market, the fitness firsts, and a number of people in London seem to be struggling where they are in the more sort of affordable places. And the premium gyms, David Lloyd, Third Space, seem to be growing, expanding, putting their prices up. And when I sort of asked the question of Rob, for example, he seems to say that there are a section of the community, maybe not just the youngest people, I don't know the demographic, but they now appreciate and they're actually prepared to pay for the best service. So I think when we look at some of the numbers, we have to be careful of maybe just sort of looking at one data point and assuming that's representative of everything, because according to that, there is a boom on the higher end. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I think you're entirely right. I think that at the top end of the market there is a boom, but you will place that top end of the market pretty much into major cities, or in David Lloyd's terms, into the rich communities or the richer communities in those areas which have the expendable income. The clubs are high quality, but there is no doubt that if you're Third Space and you're in central London, you're getting an enormous community of people who are highly paid and battle to be at that facility. And that has also been affected by the Instagrammers because they use those facilities and they've attracted them together.
Just to make a comment, so I'm seeing something in my market space which obviously hasn't changed for probably the last 20 years, is I'm hearing things like various boot camp and bar fitness and yoga is picking up and things like that. But when I speak to some of my clients on the consumer side, they tell me, well, they prefer a low-fee traditional gym setup because they want to pick and choose where they want to go. So they'll do like one day at a various boot camp, one day in a gym, and they're perfectly fine with spending, let's call it, $10 a month for a gym membership, so that they can spend a little bit more on the specialized things that they want to cater to themselves. So you're not going to spend $60 for a gym membership. The average gym membership in Ghana is $100 a month, for just a normal setup. So if you're looking at that, I'm not going to spend $100 for a gym and then go and spend another $100 for yoga, another $100 for various boot camp. You just want to kind of pick and choose. So you drive the cost of your normal gym session down, so you can pick and choose the other things.
Undoubtedly, there will be people who say, I do a Barry's, I do a bar, this is my timetable, I mix my fitness, that has come out of it.
I've heard from a lot of gym owners, EFTs and low dues. A lot of members don't, because it's low enough, they don't go to the gym. So basically you're keeping it low to, you're gonna have to drive the volume up, and a lot of people don't actually go to the gym. So
Yeah.
in my opinion, the gyms that are starting to charge more and actually providing more of a service are the new type of gyms that are becoming more popular.
Yeah, and long may it continue, because it is going to be the gyms who charge more and drive a better service that win the health battle or in the community battle. Can't be won by anybody else. Can't be won because our biggest asset is our people. So our biggest asset in this industry is our fitness instructors and the people who get out there and deliver deliver what we're doing, 100%.
I also think the product itself is deteriorating because, again, I'm using an American example, but I was in Vegas and there's these sort of traditional bodybuilding gyms opening where kind of the younger demographic are going, and the prices on some of these gyms are pretty high end for a relatively basic gym, they're kind of training gyms. And so, I suppose if you look at a lot of the competition, maybe to them, there's nothing special about it. It's just full of equipment. There's no community, no branding. There's no support. So it's almost like, well, that's probably all it's worth, at a low price. Whereas people that are able to hack into a community, whether it's a particular demographic that's into bodybuilding or like some of the boutiques, are they creating something where people are like, okay, I want to go to that. I'm prepared to pay more money. So is it product based? I guess is the question.
I think product based is really, really important, and I think people who get the products, and you talk about bodybuilding or whether it be CrossFit, and we've seen the growth of High Rocks and other things that have come out, and gyms setting themselves up in order just to deal with those kind of people. And I think, Matt, you are completely entirely right. Your focus needs to be on the market that you're after, and that is great. But the biggest market that we can get, we need to focus on them, and they're not coming into your facilities currently. So that, the person who says, am I going to open a club, and the criteria for this is you're going to be over 60. Yeah, you're going to be over 60 to be a member here, or you're going to be over 70, or you're going to be over 80. And we're going to drive you through this and all that fitness thing. And the bold person who says that and sets up his instructors to understand those people and has the classes. It's the same kit, it's the same equipment, it's the same classes, it's a different community. And it's a community that they are comfortable in. I train at Royal Barge Club. I also train at another club, which is a really high-end facility. And my choice, my cardiovascular piece of choice is the VersaClimber. And I can tell you that this club only has one VersaClimber, and it is there purely for me. Yeah, I am the only one who uses it, and it sits there, and they call it Dave's VersaClimber, and I get on it, and I make a fool of myself, and everyone thinks he's going to die on that shortly, but we'll let him crack on. But I tell you what, I've noticed in that club, I'm from this industry, so I'm comfortable. And only the other day I was on my VersaClimber, going on and on, had the earphones in, took my earphones out and realized the amount of noise I was making. Oh, wow. Put them back in and carried on. That I looked around and I realized that in this gym, I've been so comfortable, and I'm from this industry, that I've been a member there for probably 18 years, that I am now, there is no one in that gym of my age. So when you say this club, Barry's, is aimed at a certain set of people, weightlifting, I honestly think those clubs that focus in on the people they're looking for will be will be really successful. And those who are brave enough to focus on communities who are not exercising, you can really reap the reward, because for the first time ever, they know they've got to make a difference, and they've got to change. The ACS,
Is that the population of the gap between pre-COVID numbers, or was it 63 until now? Is that percentage? Do you think it's more, higher age people that have not returned, or gyms have not?
That's a relevant question. Certainly, everyone's aged a little bit in that membership criteria. So yes, but the fact is they're not. They haven't. Everyone said we'll open our doors back and we'll go back to normal, and we're still not there. We know that because we know at Myzone where you're working out, and we know whether it's in the facility or outside of the facility.
I was just going to say one key thing that I think is important with what you're talking about there is the older generation now is a lot more educated about their health and wellness and fitness than the older generations of years gone by. That it is something that needs to be active and embraced. I think it highlights there is a big opportunity there with a growing aging population that is more conscious of their health and
and understand it more. And 100%. I apologize. Myzone satisfies ACM 2023 trends. Dave Wright has managed to sneak in the room and put that in. But I'm really concerned, I'm going to stand in front of that, in terms of the ACSM trends. Yes, Myzone wearable technology, body weight training, you are producing exercise and equipment which get people to absolutely do that. Fitness program for older adults. Outdoor activity with fitness kit to do it. The ability just to take stuff to a park and make it happen. The ability to do things in your garden. Gosh, you guys are selling stuff that absolutely delivers that. High intensity interval training, everyone's talking about it. When I talk about that older market, obviously we have to be careful. Personal training continues to grow, and I take that back to standards. We need to grow I was the worst personal trainer ever. There has never been a poorer personal trainer than me. Honestly, I can say that. I did my ACSM fitness instructor, I did my ACSM director thing, I did my ACSM everything, and then I spent an hour flirting. Yeah, I was a great flirt. Yeah. I was flat out flirting. And then after an hour session, we get to the end of the hour session, I go, shall we skip stretching? Real professional. Let's skip stretching. So boring. Yeah, so worst professional of all time. Now we're getting personal trainers who really know what they're doing, who really are trying to make a difference. And these personal trainers need to be looking at these risk groups and making a difference to them, because these risk groups need to be carried into the confidence of being able to do exercise training. Strength training with free weights, it was mentioned earlier, we know all about it. Functional fitness training, wow, it's right up the niche of everybody who's here. But as I go through this, we tend as an industry to think about ourselves, the people we work with, the health clubs we're going to. I want you to take that list and think about people who don't exercise, because that's 80% of the population. It's the same needs, the same requirements, just a different message, a way of putting it across. Don't need that at all. So we took 63,000 members across 1,500 locations. So these are 3 quick Myzone stats. Yeah, Myzone users are 13 net points more likely to be a member in 6 months from now, based on that survey of those stats. Yeah, so we know, let's put from a Myzone point of view, that's because we're giving them challenges. We're gamifying this. We're sitting into World Health Guidelines or whatever it happens to do. But most of all, we're looking for partnerships that makes this happen. So when I go to Dr. Paul Bedford, I don't know who knows Dr. Paul Bedford. Some of you will know him well. You may know him better as the retention guru. But when we took with him a sample of 256,000 members at a fitness chain and looked against the Myzone users, against the non-Myzone users, we can see significantly the difference between the amount, how much longer they're staying. So 100% of them here, and after a month, the graph starts splitting. So after 6 months, 56 of your 100 have left, 71 of Myzone haven't left. After 8 months and so on. So after 12 months, 33 are left of the 100 of non-Myzone users, and 53 out of the 100 are. You think of that in terms of direct debit. You've got 20 more members here, 20 more members because they wear a Myzone belt. Bollocks. It's not because they wear a Myzone belt. It's because we've created a gamification that tracks what they do, and we've worked with the partners and people in this room and made it possible for them to exercise. That is just purely a tool to end up in the delivery of that, the delivery of what they're going. So when you're talking to clubs and you're trying to sell them equipment, and we have a partnership with Escape, and we have partnerships with TRX and PowerPlay, and I know some of you represent Live Fitness in this room. What we're trying to do is saying we are one product, and by working with the kit that you supply and working professionally in delivering, we can make this much difference. So if you want a commercial reason why you should be buying kit from Escape and why you should be tying your programming into Myzone and where that's going to deliver, guess what? You're going to have 20 more people times by $100, which was your price, is $2,000 more dollars. My maths is rubbish, but I think I'm right on that. $2,000 more dollars of direct debit that you had that month than you would have had if you hadn't had, not Myzone, a professional delivery component. This was purely what was producing the statistics and facts and gamification that I use, he uses, various people in this room use that make a difference. But it's just a tool in that box. Then from this industry, I think we need to look further. We need to, if we're going to be health delivery partners, we need to start looking further about how can we make a difference? How do we get out into the community and make a difference? So one of my aims at Myzone is to open up the corporate market. Yeah, the corporate market was mentioned earlier today. I'm sure you guys are selling into corporates and hotels and things like that. You absolutely are. But are you looking and saying, this is our plan for this market, because the net result of those corporates taking part or those workplaces taking part is we control a little bit more of people's exercise regimes. Professional sport. We're working with Arsenal. People here will be working with various other people. These are where we have big advantages in this industry, because you talked about influencers and things like that. We need the people in this. You're going tomorrow to a class, ex-rugby player. We have a number of people who use Myzone or ex-rugby player. We need these guys in every sport and everything, talking about our industry and talking about that, because they influence the bottom of the pack, the young people coming in and get them to join. And I think the military is an opportunity, and the big one is education. The big opportunity to influence people who are in school now about their fitness journey is enormous, and health clubs should own their schools. When I say that you own your community, what is your relationship as a club owner with your local schools? What is it? It's not a leaflet drop in the car park. That's not an ownership for it. It's kids coming down there. The school you can see there is Coomwood School, which is somewhere near London. But all the kids, this school embraced it. Every one of the kids has a Myzone device, as you can see by these neatly placed on these two children's hands. But all around the school, they have Myzone. They have Myzone boards all around the school. And every kid's done this. And you know what the biggest change is now when you're going into the gym and you're picking the basketball or netball team or whatever it happens to be, so-and-so who's rubbish at sport and knows they're going to be the last one picked for every team. Doesn't matter, because at the end of the class, the award goes for the person who put the most effort in. Not the person who scored the most goals. The person who put the most effort in. And then the footballer who is great at football, but you say 2 + 2 and he just thinks, I have no idea what you're talking about, because he's rubbish at maths, is now taking his Myzone results, and they put Myzone into the class, into maths, and said, I want you to learn percentages by using your MEPS. Yeah. So we've done that in a particular school, but it's not for us to have the relationship from the school. We've done that because we want clubs to have the relationship with the school. We want clubs to be going there with you guys and going to a school and saying, we'll put Myzone in and we'll put some escape stuff in and we'll set up some classes and we'll make it all work and we'll get something going in. And guess what? As a club, we will subsidize and make this happen, because we get them hooked at this point, and they will be hooked on health and fitness forever and a day. And this is the generation, the young generation. We know in the UK, when girls get to primary school, do you know what the drop-off of girls taking part in exercise is, to what percentage it drops to from when they can opt to take part in? It goes from everyone having to take part, and in girls at 13 and 14 in the UK, they're saying 0%. They're going to, obviously it's slightly above, but the majority are just saying, nah, I just give up because I'm body conscious, I'm worried about what I'm wearing and all those things. If you've already got them into that exercise bug, understanding the importance of it, understanding that them being fit and healthy is helping this world, understanding that going to the park and running around is making a difference, understanding that not having any televisions at home really makes a difference to your life because you're outside and doing things. If our industry owned education, we would just be cracking along, and we need to own that. So we need to own the bottom of the pyramid in terms of age, and we need to own the top of the pyramid because they're heading there and they need the most help. And the middle of this pyramid, we just need, they're our members where they currently are, and we just need to be offering more to them. So I kind of get to concluding there, but I'm just going to recap. If you can take away 4 things from this talk, which you will go out and you will say to your clients, and you will say, so tell me, with your club, I'm selling you this kit. I'd really like to know, how are you moving your mission from fitness to health? How are you doing it? What are you doing it? What can I do to help you? What is the specification or kit or things that you need for us to get that message over? What is the programming that makes a difference? How embedded in your community are? Do you go to the local old people's home? Do you have a relationship with the local GP? Can I do anything for you on that? Is it worth me going down there and seeing the GP and helping you in some way drive? The GP, by the way, is general practitioner for those people who are lost in the great medical world of the British doctor system, but just your general doctors. And then what are our professionals doing? What level of skill have they got? Are they true professionals? Drive them. You, I'm sure, know your fitness absolutely backwards, but please make sure that everybody around you, everyone in your teams, everyone who you educate, that you say, if you want to be proud of being part of this industry, if you want to make a difference to the health of the nation, if you want to make sure that our globe doesn't implode, be a professional fitness instructor and deliver what we can, because I would say go right back to where we began at the beginning. If we think that the most important thing is what is going to happen in this globe and where are we going, and I take it back to the environment and everything that is happening there, I would say that you guys and your fellow professionals throughout the industry, you carry that mantle. Fitter people, people exercising, people making the difference to their health, improve their diet. Don't use transport, move more often, care more about what's happening in this world, and we end up with a healthy population, and then we've got a chance of having a healthy planet. And it is not just for a commercial reason that we should be doing that. We should be doing that because we're lucky enough to be able to pop out here and breathe fresh air, and we are responsible for making sure that we contribute to that going on forever. So go out there, enjoy it. Thank you very much for your time, and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you've got any value from it whatsoever, then please do us a favor, like, subscribe, tell somebody, and that will help us to be able to continue to do more of these and help you escape your own personal limits. Thanks for listening.